My name is Mark Ironson, and this quick video is on newspaper advertising. And newspaper advertising seems quite expensive. It seems like it costs a fortune when you first phone up, and it does. And the reason for that is because when you first phone up, you'll get the rack rate. Even in classified, you'll get the rack rate of the newspaper. It might be £170 a week, and that's going to get painful really quickly. So I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. What I do is I do Colombo Calls, and Colombo Calls are 3 phone calls in successive weeks. So week 1, week 2 and week 3. The Colombo Calls are designed to elicit information, take the pitch and then get a deal. So the first set of Colombo Calls are half a dozen dumb questions. And the first one could be, what area do you cover as a newspaper? How do I advertise a newspaper? When is your copy deadline? When do you do the artwork for the advert? Where can what headings can I go into in the classified section? And what size of adverts do you do? So these half a dozen dumb questions are what are your readership figures? What are your sales figures, for example? And sometimes when this elicits more information. It's called taking the pitch, and when you take the pitch, you get all the information you need out of the newspaper to make an informed decision on where to go next on next week's Colombo Calls. Now, when we ask when the target is or deadline, we'll normally get the print deadline. Well, actually, we don't want the print deadline. We'll take it because it's taking the pitch, but what we're after is the pay deadline, because if their pay deadline is Thursday at 4 o'clock, that's when the deals come out. But people in employed jobs and employed roles are quite secretive about their money. Once you've made money, we're quite open about money. We talk about money all the time because we want to make more. But what people in employed roles tend to be quite secretive. So getting the pay deadline out of them is quite hard, or it doesn't happen in the first call, that's for sure. And sometimes even deny having one. Oh yes, Mr. Ironson, I do this for free. I don't get paid at all. And it's really a bit weird, and that might not come for 2 or 3 calls, but once you get it, once you get the information, you can use it to get deals. Because let's say for example that on your call 2s, Colombo Call 2s, week 2s, we're asking more and more questions and deeper questions about the circulation, the sales figures, the numbers, the costs and stuff, and whether they do deals. And our operative reveals that their target for pay is 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. I'm going to call at3:30 the following week, and that's when the deals start to pop out. And that £170, the rack rate, £170 that they started with, that suddenly drops right down. And what I'm aiming for a 1x5 advert, and that's 1 column across by 5 centimetres down, a 1x5 advert, I'm looking at about £12 to £16 a week. If I can get it down at £12 to £16 a week, I'll go in every single newspaper on the patch in the area. And the reason for that is because it's not painful anymore, it's an actual real deal. So I'll go for that one because it's a deal. So once I've got it down to that level, but it takes 3, maybe 4 weeks to get down to that. It won't come out straight away. You'll get the email, you'll get the whole rack. They'll try and get you into articles and stuff in the newspaper, editorial stuff. They'll offer you that as well. They'll offer to put you on the website, and I'm not sure if you can relate to this, but have you been ever onto a newspaper, a local newspaper's website, and then gone into the classifieds on the internet? Have you ever done that? I've never done that, so I suspect you haven't either. So that's all a bit of pitch. If we take the pitch but ignore the features and benefits because it's not really relevant to us, all we want is the price on the actual advert, the actual 5x1, 1 column by 5 centimetres, a 5x1. That's where we start. Now, of course, you can expand later on, but that's the start of the advertising. It might take you 3 or 4 weeks in every newspaper in your area, but eventually you'll get down to that level. £12 to £16 a week, that's what you need. My name is Mark Ironson, and I'll speak to you next week.